Hey everyone, this is Elaine with Sweet Stampin'. Welcome to my weekly live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks so much for joining me. Hi Jeanne, hi Mercy, thanks for being here. I'm very excited today to be showing you some flowers, some coneflowers, some sunflowers, some daisies, all kinds of flowers. I love flowers and I have some amazing sunflowers growing in my garden, and they have inspired me to create some fun cards. So I hope you enjoy them today. Before we get started, just wanted to mention a couple things that are coming up. So in August, Stampin' Up! Will offer 3 new kits on August 5th, as well as new last chance items on the last chance list, with some items being discounted up to 70% off. You will see some previous celebration items on the last chance list this time. And so Stampin' Up! Has announced that going forward, instead of celebration, they are going to be offering a product of the month. So if you purchase over a certain threshold, you will be able to purchase the product of the month for a nominal amount. So that is going to start, I think, the end of this year. So stay tuned for more information about that. I think it'll be really nice to have a fun gift every month, and it'll be different. Let's see. Also, the month is winding down and a new month is starting, and there's going to be a sale August 5th through the 31st on the new in color items. So stay tuned for more information on that. It'll be a really fun sale. And I've decided to go for Alaska. I have 2 months left, October and September. They're going to be crazy busy months, but I'm gonna try a Hail Mary to make it to the end. I have quite a ways to go, but why not shoot for the stars, right? So appreciate all of your orders and your help, and let me know if there's anything that I can help you with. So first, I'm going to start by showing off some of the cards I made last week in my live, showing the Sweeter With You paper pumpkin kit and some alternative cards. And then we will do the raffle for one of those cards. Some of the cards we were working on last week I didn't quite finish, and so I have them finished now and ready to show you. So let's switch views and then we'll do the raffle. So one of them, hi Louise, hi Joan, hi Karen, is one that I posted on my blog today, actually last night. Let me fix the camera here a little bit. Nope, wrong way. Straighter this way and down. And this one is the offset gatefold card. And I mentioned using the leftover pieces from the card that you cut for the front for the inside of the card. So that's one of the cards that I made last week. Here's another one that I finished off. So I just stamped thank you and fussy cut it and put it right on the top and added some strawberry little gems there. We have those strawberry and pretty and pink gems, which are perfect for these cards. This one I added some gems, and this one I added gems. I added gems to all of them. Oh, not to the original ones, but I could. So those are the original ones, and this one as well. I did add gems to that one. And then here's another one, and I added the gems. And then this is one that I featured on my blog this past week using the envelope flap. And of course I added some gems. And then here we have one of the other ones. I added the pretty and pink gems. They went nicely with the pink. And then another one. You can make so many fun different cards with this kit. It's amazing. The refills are available, but if you wanted a full kit and you weren't able to get one, I still have 2 kits left. So you are able to order those from me if you'd like. Here's another one with the gems again, and then more with the gems on the flowers. And then this one you can't see because this is my tutorial that I will be sending out to everyone who is one of my Paper Pumpkins subscribers. And you can also purchase it for $15 and it will be available on August 1st. So this is my beautiful tutorial card that I cannot show, that I have to tuck behind because sometimes I forget and mix it in with all of these and end up accidentally showing it. So, oh yes, raffle. Okay, so let's do a choice. Let's do this one, or let's do one that's different. How about that one's not that different. Sorry, just mulling it over. How about one of these 2 for the raffle? And so let's go over here to the raffle, the random name generator, and let's spin the wheel. Super fun to spin the wheel. And let's see who we've got. It looks, oh, we have Kelly Lynn. So congratulations, Kelly. I'm writing your name down. Sorry, I didn't know if Kelly Lynn was one name or together. But thank you for watching, and let me know what your address is because I don't think I have your address. I'm just writing Kelly Lynn down. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to play with the Coneflower Celebrations. Some of you have asked me to play with this bundle, and so I purchased it. And I have really enjoyed playing with it. It's very pretty. You can make different kinds of flowers with it. I love the font, the happy belated birthday. It has thank you, celebrating you. It has splatter. I love doing splatter. And then there is one thing that I'm not too into on this stamp set, and it is all caps in script font. That's not my favorite. I'm a bit of a font snob. So, but I do say that if you're gonna do it in all caps, this one isn't that bad. There are some that are very bad, but that it can work, but not my favorite. But the dies are amazing. So not only do you have this detailed die, this die cuts out the stamped die, and you can fold it in half as well. And I'll show you some fun things you can do with that. There's a textured die for the top of the flower, leaves to cut out the stamped leaves, but also go with the detailed leaves. Our butterfly to cut out our butterfly, our stem, and then this fun little pattern right here, and you can save those little circles inside for shaker cards. So don't throw away those little circles. Not at all. Those are super fun to keep. Okay, so along with this stamp set, I've also used a couple other things. I've used the Elements of Text stamp set, the beautiful Sunflower Embossing Folder. It's currently not available, but it will be available soon. The Exposed Brick. And then I've used the Textured Notes dies and the Mixed Labels dies because they have all of these nice label dies and these nice rectangles with a little bit of texture on the edges. So I will show you some of the cards, and of course, as usual, I have created way more cards than I can probably make in the next while, but I love them, and I think they'll be fun. So let's just start with a simple card. So here is a simple card where I just cut out the flower twice in Daffodil Delight, and then this is in the Pecan Pie, and then I have stamped the rest on the card. So super simple, but I'm gonna show you a couple of tricks. I tried the splatter, but I didn't like it. So how do I get on the wheel? So when you comment and when you share the video, you're on the wheel. It's not for current demonstrators, just for non-demonstrators. Sorry, my son's bringing in some boxes. So the sunflowers, or the coneflower, this one is my sunflower one because I cut it out. I'm going to do some shading. The shading is really fun to do. I've been doing a lot of it, and it really adds some depth to the flower. So the pecan pie, I've got a little blending brush for that, because these are small and more detailed. So I'm just going to add a little bit more color to the bottom here. And then we can tap that off just to make sure I don't make any marks that aren't smooth on here, and just kind of rub that in there. And then it creates this nice color there, okay? So let's put this back. You just get ink all over your fingers. You kind of have to wipe off your fingers as you go. So that's that. And then we are going to put this aside for a moment while we stamp in Garden Green. And we're gonna stamp the stem. So we're gonna do the stem going off this way, but actually I kind of want to just measure here a little bit, that I kind of want the stem to be about here. And then we will do the leaves. So I did this leaf over here, kind of going off this way. And then we'll do the other leaf up here. Oh, okay, I gotta stamp that again. Let's see if I can line it up. Ooh, close. That's the nice thing about photopolymer, is you can kind of line it up again sometimes, and it can be forgiving because you can kind of see where to stamp again. Okay, so I'm gonna try this splatter stamp again. This time, I think last time I did stamp off. I'm definitely gonna stamp off, but I tried to do it when the piece was like already on the card, and it's just really hard to do. And so you shouldn't try doing it that way. You should stamp first and then attach, right? And I'm just gonna be really light-handed, and I'm just gonna try to move the stamp in different directions. I'm gonna try to go straight down, straight up, and then I'm just gonna go all around and make it look as random as I can. And so this will hopefully look nice. Do you guys like splatter stamps? Do you use them when they're included in the stamp set? Okay, almost there. Let's turn it this way. Okay, so did a little bit of that, and then we will stamp the birthday sentiment. Happy belated birthday. And it's got a fun little coordinating saying that you can stamp inside the card. But we'll just stamp that straight up and straight down. And then I did use the blends markers to color. So I've got light and dark here. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of dark over here to this side. Kind of like my light source is coming from the left. And just add dark, dark all the way down. And then add some coming from the flower, from the leaf out. And then I have to turn it this way. And then this one as well. And then we'll use the light. So this is a pretty easy card to do. Just stamping the stem and leaves, a little background and the sentiment, and then mixing it up by adding a cut out dyed detail. And I'm going to add some more color to the Daffodil Delight dies. So I'm gonna grab the Daffodil Delight blending brush. Yes, I do have separate blending brushes for each color because I'm too lazy to rinse out each time. And then, you know, probably use that color again. So as I use the color, I just leave it that color and label it, and then that's what we have. Oh, I'm gonna need this because I'm going to add some color to both of these. And actually, I think I added, no, let's add Daffodil Delight. So let me grab the Daffodil Delight brush here. It's in the, oh, crushed curry. That's not right. Lost Lagoon, Poppy Parade, Daffodil Delight. And yeah, Daffodil Delight. I was thinking about using Ugly Duckling, but oh, I can't believe I said ugly. Darling Duckling, Darling Duckling. The other one's just my name for it. Okay, so I'm just gonna add some of this up here at the top, again, to give it some depth. That's too funny. Okay. And I think it's really fun to add more color with the blending brushes. That really makes the details stand out even more. So it's really, really nice. All right, we've got that. And then I can put this little scrap piece of paper away. And now we can adhere this down to some pecan pie. Okay, and then since I did two, I'm gonna offset them. So let's go ahead and put adhesive on this top one here. Ooh, a little bit too much adhesive. And let's see, I'm just going to offset this a little bit to one side to make it look really full. And then adhere this piece on. Gotta get this going again. And then I'm gonna trim some of the back piece off. So I'm just gonna trim off the back piece so that we don't see that. And then voila, we have a very full and beautiful sunflower. And we'll just use a couple of dimensionals up here to tack this down. And we have our really easy, beautiful sunflower card. There we go. Okay, so for the next card, I love purple, so I wanted to use the Gorgeous Grape, And I used some of the paper from the, let's see, I just forgot what it's called, but it's from the last catalog. And it has like these designs on one side and then these watercolor washes on the other side. And so I apologize, I cannot remember the name right now. I will remember it or look it up in a bit. But I really like the back sides of all of these. I think they're really cool and pretty, and they can be used for any kind of card. So I'm just gonna put it on this side here. This is on Coastal Cabana, and I'm just gonna fold this again a little bit. Okay, so here is what I did. I cut out another of these pieces in white, and I trimmed it in a little bit so that I could add it inside and fold it so that hopefully you don't see any of the white. Let me see if I can score that so it stays like that. So I stamped inside happy birthday. So I think it's really fun that you can do that on the front of the card. And for stamping happy birthday, I used that belated happy belated birthday stamp. And I masked off because I just wanted the happy and the birthday. So I started with birthday, and then I just used these really small Post-it notes, and I just want to cover the happy because I think I can handle only inking the birthday part. That's easier. So I've got the birthday. I'll remove that. And so we'll stamp birthday. Okay. And then I have to clean and dry this really, really well. So you want to clean it and you want to dry it. So you don't want anything else to stamp. And so now we're going to put this below the happy to cover both of the words here. I kind of tried to bend the Post-it note around, but that looks pretty good. And then I'll just ink nope, I'm still on the screen. I'll ink the happy, and then we'll remove that. And then I think it fits so nicely on top of the birthday. Look at that. So we've got just happy birthday. So it doesn't have to be a belated birthday. And then we can stamp celebrating you. Find it, there we go, celebrating you on our little strip here. And then I keep a lot of my punches, including the banners pick-a-punch. It is retired, but I keep it because I don't like to try to figure out the middle and do the banner end and all of that good stuff. I like to just punch it. So that's why I keep this punch around, because it comes in handy. So that is that piece. And then I cut out the little circles that I mentioned before. And this time I did remember to cut it out on adhesive, the backing. Yay! So that I can easily put that down, and it just goes so nicely with the paper, I think. And then I have done a little bit more ink blending on these pieces as well as this piece. So I will bring back our scrap piece here, and meanwhile I can adhere, whoopsie doopsie, can adhere this piece inside of our flower here. So just barely like tuck it in there. So that is ready to go. And then what happened to my 2 purple ones? I think I forgot to cut those out. But I'll go ahead and show you the shading, and then I will have to finish that up later. Let's see, did I put adhesive on the back of these? No, I did not. Oh darn. Okay, so now we have Granny Apple Green, and I have a small blending brush. I know, don't you like the purple? I think it's really pretty. Oh, I'm glad you found me, Carrie. Sorry, I popped in a little bit late. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of the Granny Apple Green on the Granny Apple Green to make it darker, to give this nice look right here. And so I'm gonna also do it with the stem a little bit. Or a lot of it. That was more than I wanted, but there we go. And then these will just be adhered to that, and this one to this. And I think I want a little bit more on this one. There we go. And then we'll do a little bit, I think I'm just gonna do a little bit of the daffodil on the daffodil again. So daffodil on the daffodil. Let's get it really dark down here. Okay, I like that. You can even go like this. You kind of want some more color on that edge there. Okay, so that's gonna look beautiful. So I will be cutting out 2 more purple flowers. Forgot to do that. And I will definitely be posting this one on my blog. Hi, Holly. So super fun. I love all the different colors you can do and different types of flowers. So now I want to introduce, look at my fingers, the Sunflower Embossing Folder. It is a large one, so it is 6 by 8.5, so it's quite large, and it allows you to create just beautiful, beautiful cards. So I have this one. This is just very simple, and it's just using coloring. Let me see if where's that little tab? Okay, I have one over here somewhere then. That's gonna elude me, or not. That's okay, maybe this one works. Okay, so for this one, we do need this again. So I ran it through, and you can fit 2 4 by 5 1/4 here. So I did 2. So this one was over here, and this one was over here like this, so you can kind of see. And then I just, again, used the little blending brushes and to color. So this one I used the Darling Duckling, but this time I'm going to use the Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to have to be careful because I'm using the large blending brush here. So I have to be careful about how I am coloring this so that I only get the petals, hopefully. So you can add as much or as little color as you want, but you see how that's starting to turn out? Isn't that pretty? Hey. Oh, yes. Hi, Gwen. Thanks for joining us. Yes, I was just talking with my friend and from Hawaii as well. So I'm just gonna color, let's see. And we've got another one over here, all of the petals. This is definitely a sunflower, and I'm growing some sunflowers. Actually, they're all volunteer sunflowers. Like, I didn't purposefully plant them. They're just from the seeds that I dropped when I was pulling out the sunflowers that I did plant from last year. And it's crazy. They took over the whole garden box and they grew to like 12, some of them are 12 feet tall. So it's really, really cool. And I've cut some of them off and given some of them away and brought some of them in as flowers. So really fun to have sunflowers. So now let's do the Granny Apple Green. And this one I did do a little, you are gonna get your hands inky with this. I did a little one because you kind of need just a little one for the leaves here. Okay, we've got a leaf in here. And I'm just gonna say that this is all green too, just to make it a little bit easier on myself here. And that one, that's kind of dark, but should be good. And then, see, that's another one. We can put the sentiment right there. So if you have any little areas where you feel like you kind of boo-booed, you can cover it with the sentiment. Okay, and then lastly, we're gonna do the middles with the pecan pie. Pecan pie, there you are. Okay, and those are easier because they're just circular and they're right in the center, so these are pretty easy to color. This one not so much because it's like hiding in the, oh, that's terrible. Oh well, it's hiding in there. Maybe I need to cover, I think I need to cover it up there. Let's see here, where did that Daffodil Delight go? Daffodil Delight. Let's see if I can add a little bit more Daffodil Delight, but I wanted to add it over here anyway, to those. Let's see if I can like get more color in there. I guess I can just go over the whole thing, right? Yeah. Okay, let's add more Daffodil Delight in here. But this is a really fun way to color. You could also color it with blends. You could do watercoloring. You could do markers. So many different things that you could do to color this. But I just love how it turns out, and depending on your colors, the intensity of colors that you can use with this. So let's see, I did Happy Belated Birthday again. I like to be on time with birthdays, so I don't make a lot of Happy Belated Birthday ones, and that one's just too big for this sentiment. And I know I had another one of those somewhere in my pile. Aha, I was right. Keep all these little extra pieces. Okay, this one is much better. This is from the Happy Hydrangeas. No, the Happy Hibiscus. Different flower. All right, so now we can put some adhesive on this. And the seal does a really good job of adhering this down, so I'm not too worried about it. On the garden green, right there. And then we've got our Happy Birthday And we'll use some dimensionals, just using the edges of my mini dimensionals here. Yes, this is not in the Coneflower bundle. This is separate, this embossing folder. But I thought it was so similar that it would be fun to add and combine them together. So I'm going to use some of the new, where are they? Low profile sparkle dots. These are part of the Painterly pairs. And we have these Mossy Meadow ones, but I think they look really nice. But I don't know, I was gonna try the Darling Duckling. I should have tried it on those because that's Darling Duckling, but I'm gonna try the Darling Duckling on this one. And I love it because they're so sparkly and pretty, but they're low profile, so you can easily put these through the mail. So I'm just gonna put these in a couple different spots here. Love it. I think that makes it really pretty. And these colors go so nicely together. And so that's the sunflower card. Okay. And now we did that card. Let's do this card. So this card is stamping and coloring everything. So I've already pre-stamped and colored some things and cut some things out. So this is from the Textured Notes dies. I've already stamped this in Gorgeous Grape. This one I stamped the top in Daffodil Delight and the bottom in Gorgeous Grape. And this one I just did differently just to, play with the difference. So I've got stems, I've got leaves, and then this paper is from the Boho Butterflies paper. So I'm using all different designer series papers that go really nicely and are really great background DSPs if you want to highlight something or have something pop out. And there's a lot of fun ways to use them. And so for this, I just colored, let's find the dark. This is the light. That's the light, this is the dark. And I'll go ahead and color this probably mostly with the dark. And it will look different from this because I didn't stamp it the same. Oh, this one is not a good light marker. Let me try. This one is much better, much better. So we'll just color that in, go around and add some more color, and then add a little bit more dark. And then we'll do the, oh, I already did the Granny Apple Green. La la la, put it back. We'll do the Highland Heather since we don't have Gorgeous Grape. And I've already colored the butterfly like a little kaleidoscope. And so this one is dark. So I'm just going to put a lot of dark up here at the top. And then I'll add some coming down on the lines of the flower. And then the petals behind, I'll add some dark shadows back there to kind of show the depth and show that those petals are behind here. Okay, and a little bit less on the top and more on the bottom petals. And then this one's kind of on top, that one's like totally behind. And then we've got this one. Any questions? Yes, I love that they're making a lot of low profile gems. It's really nice. Okay, that's not the nice one. I have so many different light. This is the nice one, I think. No, I don't like that one. Dark light. I do like the color of this one, but I'm gonna go with this one. I feel like this is more like Fresh Freesia than Highland Heather, don't you think? I don't know. It just totally feels like Fresh Freesia. I'm gonna get a new set of Highland Heather markers and compare and see what I think. But anyway, I'm just gonna color this, and then we can put this all together. And I'm just gonna do it backwards for the sake of time. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this on. And the dimensionals I just had, and I just put somewhere, there they are. I've got those too. But let's go ahead and let's use these large ones. And then we'll start a new one. And I'm putting these on the sides so that I can have my stem go up the middle. Okay. And I'll finish coloring that in later. So we're just gonna put this over here, and then I think I'm gonna go with this stem. Why is there already adhesive here? How do I get so much adhesive everywhere? I feel like I try to be really careful with the adhesive, but then I still find it everywhere. Okay. Do you notice that? Do you have the same issue? Oh no, I was gonna get my tweezers, but I'm just gonna go ahead and grab it and put it up here. And then we will add some dimensionals onto our butterfly and our petals. And so I'll just do 1, 2, 3. And then this one, we'll put it a ways back here so I can put it kind of like it's on the butterfly, but I have to keep it kind of low. So it fits on the card. I did not place that well. Okay, we're just gonna do it on the card, on the flower. So that's gonna have to come later because I gotta color the flower first. Okay, this one we can put like here, and then this one I'm going to put over, I'm gonna put it like up. That one kind of went up, but I'm gonna put this one under since I still have to color that. And then I'll put this one out and I'll put it underneath. Oh, everything's going off the card. Okay, this is another Textured Notes dies, and I'm going to stamp this sentiment on here. I really like it. I love that I've known you for so many birthdays. So many birthdays. So I can just stamp that, and then I will use dimensionals on this. And then what is even more fun is we still have our purple gems, and so I can add some purple gems to the card. So let's put this right about here, and we've got the fine shimmer purple gems, and I've got the Gorgeous Grape or the Highland Heather. So let's do Gorgeous Grape and Highland Heather with this one. So let's put this one over here, and then we'll do 2 of the Highland Heather over here. And now we'll go back and add to the butterfly. And I'm gonna move the dimensional so that it fits better. And then we'll color this flower a little bit more so that I can add the butterfly on. So let's just color this side a little bit more. Bring that color down. And I put this purple flower on blue so that it really stands out more. And I'll come back and color the rest of this. We'll just do a couple of these for now for this side. And the butterfly is stuck to me, but that's all good. And then let's put it up over here like that. And then there's the purple card. So another purple one. And then we will move on to the next one. I have to fix my falling pile of ink pads. I used a lot of different colors for these different flowers this time. So I've got a lot of colors here. Okay, so now I wanted to show you this one. So this one I decided to do an inlaid flower. So inlaid basically means that this layer here is popped up, and then the flower and leaves are inlaid, so they're down in. So this is popped up, the background is popped up. So these are really fun to do with flowers and other designs. I've already done some of the coloring on these leaves in garden green, and I've already done this flower, and I cut the flower and the leaves out of this, and then I use cloud cover ink with the brush to brush the ink all over. Then I stamped, actually before I did that, I stamped the stem in garden green, and I have a blending brush and the garden green, and I'm going to color, whoops, makes it look like watercolor on the stem here first. And then I used the exposed brick embossing folder to emboss this to give it some texture. I just really like it when cards have some texture to them as well. I think it's a really nice addition. So I'll do the darker side on the left and then come back and do the lighter side. And we've got the darker over here, and then we'll just keep going down all the way on the stem. And this gives it a nice blended watercolory look. We don't have garden green blends markers, and so that's why I'm using these blends, blender pens. Blender pens is what I'm using. So got that colored in, and so this is going to be popped up, but first we're going to do some coloring on this. We're gonna do several colors. We're gonna start with, not Darling Duckling, we're gonna do Daffodil Delight. Okay, and we're just going to color all the petals with the Daffodil Delight, starting at the top and then working on to the bottom. And you kind of want to brush it out this way so you don't have the leaves crumble up on you. So go ahead and hold some of those petals down while you ink them up. And then just get the bottoms really well. Okay, so that's the first color. Now we're gonna add some pumpkin pie. Let's find the pumpkin pie. So we've got pumpkin pie, and I used a mini brush for this one because I just want to just add a little bit coming down. I don't want to cover up the red, but I want it to be darker at the top. Okay, so that's the pumpkin pie. Just kind of bring that down a little bit. And then we'll do one more color. We'll do the Cajun Craze. And we will use a small brush for this as well, because we just want to do like the very top here. And we want to make it really stand out from the pumpkin, so that you can definitely see there's Cajun Craze, and then I'm gonna do a little bit more pumpkin down here, and then there's Daffodil Delight. So you wanna see that there's 3 colors there kind of being blended in. Okay, so we've got our 3 colors here. You can get some of the ink off your fingers. And then we can add this to this piece right here. Again, I'm going to offset it and then trim off the back. So I'm just gonna put some adhesive on the top of the flower here, and I've added some early espresso with this piece right here. And so I have this offset here, and it just looks so nice and full. And then I will cut the back off, and then we can add that to the card. And then I've already colored the leaves with Granny Apple Green, but I wanted to add a second color of Garden Green. So I'm going to use, again, the blending brush, bring this back. And it is kind of good to do clean papers, because you can pick up some of the other colors when you're blending, so just be aware of that. We're gonna do the small brush, and I'm just gonna go really dark to light on these full pieces. And let's see, yeah. But you can still hopefully see some of the Granny Apple Green behind there. And then really go on this one, but kind of make it look a little bit ombre, like that. Okay, so now we are ready to put the card together. Just gonna get the ink off of my fingers. And I think this piece is done. Okay, so we're gonna start by popping this up. So here come the dimensionals. I'm gonna do a lot of dimensionals. Just when you're dealing with something that has a lot of cut areas, I really want to support the cut areas so they really don't, what's the word? They don't fall in, they don't cave in. So yes, I'm going to be using a tremendous amount of dimensionals, both regular and mini, because sometimes we need the mini dimensionals. Okay, and then one right here to kind of hold that one up. And maybe one more right in there. Okay, I think hopefully this should be enough. I already did that one. What's your record of how many dimensionals you have used on a card? I think this might be one of my records for how many I've used. Come on. Definitely. Yes. Okay. Oops. Sticky. Okie dokie. So how many did I use on this? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. About 27. Okay, so this is going on a cloud cover card base. And I want it to be all popped up without having to use like a full sheet of foam. So I'm going to put that on there, but then on some of these little flower pieces that are the ones back behind here, I'm going to add some liquid glue to the bottom so that they stay in place under the flower. So I'm going to fit the bottom flower in. Fit the bottom flower in. Okay. So that all should go inside here, and you can use your scissors or take your pick tool to kind of help coax those guys to go down. There we go. So we want those to go down, and we want this piece right here to come up above. So I'm gonna lift this up and try to tuck this down. Okay, almost. There we go. Okay, so that one's tucked down, this one's tucked down, this one, this one, this one, and almost this one. Doesn't that look so cool? It looks really, really cool to me. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I should have moved this one over, but I'm not gonna worry about it. So it's gonna be a partial because I forgot, and I should have kept the top over to this side instead of this side. So that's just how it's gonna be. Oh, and I think I did, oh yes, remember to use adhesive on these guys. So that's gonna make that a lot easier. I'm just gonna peel the back off and place these right on here. So pretty. And then again, we will adhere these down into the inside. So this is gonna go down in here. Down, down, down. And then we can use our scissors to tuck this in here. There we go. Tuck it in, there we go. Okay, that looks cool. I like it. And then this leaf. Do the same thing. And it looks really cool. If you've seen any inset artwork before, this is kind of what it's mimicking. And we can do cloud cover ink, but I think I'm going to try doing Lost Lagoon ink this time, just so that it kind of shows up a little bit better and clearer. So let's do Lost Lagoon ink. I think it kind of has the same tone as the cloud cover, so I think it will work nicely. But I do want to use the In Color flat pearls. I just love them, and they're flat and they're so shiny and pretty. So let's do one. They have a large, medium, and small, which I also like because then I'm not always stuck with all the large ones and I use up all the small ones, if you know what I mean. And then we'll put this one up on dimensionals. I think it looks better with the Lost Lagoon. What do you think? And then we'll do, you learn as you create cards. You're like, oh, I should have done this color or that color. So let's put this, fine, put it there. And then this one will just be super close. because I cut it differently, but really fun little technique that really turns out really lovely. What do you think? Hope you like that one. Okay, so I have a couple more. If you want to hang out with me a little bit longer, I wanted to show the two-tone paper and some fun things that, oh, I just found the purple ones. Ta-da! We can finish the purple card. Hey. This one's really easy to finish. So this one, again, just gets offset. I was like, I thought I cut those out. Where did those go? Maybe that's how I get adhesive everywhere. Okay, offset. And then adhere. And then cut. And then add. Very, very easy. And, oops, I didn't add any of it, did I? Okay. Add that to the top. And then let's add this with the glue. Dot, dot, dot. Oop. So we'll just get at least part of it on, probably not the leaves. Okay, it goes this way. So move these off. And I love how it just comes from the corner. And then this is pretty thick already. So I'm just going to adhere this down flat. So we'll put that right about there. And then these we will glue down later because I forgot to add the adhesive backing, but I will add the Celebrating You little sentiment here. Super cute. And I'll just put that right above our little circles. And then leaves, and then ta-da! Okay, yay, I'm glad I found it. Okay, now back to the two-tone cardstock and the Sunflower Embossing Folder. So Stampin' Up! Now has two-tone cardstock, so it's dark on one side and light on the other side. I embossed these with the dark side on top so that I could use my little sanding tool that I got from Stampin' Up! A while ago. And I'm just gonna sand the paper, and you can go in and do as much or as little as you want, and you can really like go in there and try and get all the little details and bumps. Right there, you can go in, and right there on the leaves, try to get some of those edges, and then got a bit of a, that's why you have your little kitty vacuum. I love that kitty vacuum. Okay, and so now you can just easily create really simple, beautiful cards. So I used the textured notes dies again to create this frame, and you could do that for each of these cards. You can layer on Misty Moonlight on navy or on crumb cake. I kind of like it on crumb cake. I think it stands out more, and then you could do crumb cake on Misty Moonlight. And then I also have Lost Lagoon on crumb cake. So let's sand this one and see what this one looks like. And it's so fun to emboss and sand these. It's a really fun technique. It looks really cool. It's really fun to do. It's like revealing. it's like a scratch and sniff or scratchers or something, like you're revealing the design underneath. So I think it's really fun. And you know, I kind of sanded off a lot there, but you can do as you want. And you could do a reverse mirror of this one. I think that would be super cute to do. And got another one of those. I've also done peach pie with Timid Tiger. And this is a lighter color, so it's not going to be quite as dramatic or drastic, but it will still look nice and be fun. And you can still create beautiful cards with the lighter colors. You just won't get the contrast as you do from the darker colors. But I think this looks nice as well. Woo! What's your favorite color to do with these? Okay, that looks nice too. I like that. So I'm going to be making a lot of these cards. The last little color combo I did was Pretty in Pink and Flirty Flamingo. Let's do Clean Up on aisle 1 here. And let's do Pretty in Pink. Woo! Took off a lot there. But I think you get the point of all the different colors and possibilities you can do with the two-tone cardstock. So I will be making these cards and posting these and showing these off, because this is really super fun to be able to create just really pretty cards like that. Okay, so now let's see here. Okay, so let's clean up again and then a couple more. I got this at Hobby Lobby, if you're wondering where I got my little kitty vacuum, and it's really easy to clean. So you just twist off and then you can just dump all of it in there. And then I've got a lot of fuzzies in there. And then you just righty-tighty turn it back on. Ta-da! Okay, so let's move some of these out of the way to bring in more. Okay, so here's another one with the frame, and I cut the flowers from the new In Color paper, designer series paper stack. And so you can see kind of the splatters and different textures. And so I think that's really cool. So then you could also use these, and I think I'm out of scrap paper. Okay, I think I'm gonna use one of these, unless I have, nope. Okay, I'm gonna use one of these old kit flyers. I have lots of old kits. 11, 7, 12, 19, 2, 2, 8, 24. Wow, that's quite a jump. Do I have any of the same? 9, and then 8, 24. Okay, so let's use this one, because that one's the same. Oh, I already have something on the other side. I don't know if it's gonna work. So let's do one of these. I like to use all of my paper, and I'm pretty thrifty in that regard. My husband doesn't think I'm thrifty at all, so we'll see. Okay, so instead of doing Timid Tiger, ooh, got a little over the blending brushes too. I think this is Pumpkin Pie. I'm gonna see what Pumpkin Pie looks like here. And let's add some Pumpkin Pie, because I think that will look pretty cool on the Timid Tiger. I think Pumpkin Pie is a little bit darker than the Timid Tiger. Okay, I think that looks cool. What do you think compared? Oh, and you could even use it as a template. I forgot I was gonna do like a template card. You could totally do a template card. Let's see here. Okay. Nice. Okay, so we can add these two together. And again, just offset them. And I kind of tilt it too. That seems to offset it better. And then I'm gonna do the early espresso again. I just think the darkness of it is just a really nice contrast. And this time I'm gonna do it over to this side. And I'm going to trim the right side off, just for something different here. Okay. And then I have some of the cloud cover DSP. This is going to be going on sale August 5th. And I very, very faintly stamped from the Elements of Text, this little stamp here that has the text on it. And so I stamped off in cloud cover and then stamped on again to create this cool texture on here. So let's adhere this down. Like I said, cloud cover to me kind of has a similar tone, maybe not tone, but the Lost Lagoon and cloud cover go nicely together. How about that? Okay, so let's see here. Let's add some liquid glue here. Okay. Clean that off a little bit. There's my tweezers. The tweezers are helpful in not getting glue on the fingers, but they let go too soon. I let go too soon. Oh, okay. I'm struggling. Here we go. Okay, good enough. Okay, we'll put this on dimensionals. So don't forget to use your DSP, and you can color on your DSP. Should we go this way? All the other cards are going the other way lately, so we'll go this way. Okay, and then do I want to do garden green? It does look nice. The garden green, I think it works. It can work here. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do the garden green. It just stands out. The Timid Tiger, Pumpkin Pie are nice and bright, and so we'll go ahead and do the garden green. That's a nice bright green color. So let's just dot some strategic areas here. Okay, there's that. Hi, Susie from San Jose. I'm here in San Jose. That's so great. Where in San Jose are you? San Jose is actually quite a large city. Area-wise, it is larger than San Francisco. I learned that when I moved here. Okay, so now we've got this one on, and then to dimensional or not to dimensional. Yeah, we got it dimensional. I can't not dimensional. I don't even think that's possible. I guess it is. Sometimes I don't. But there's usually a good reason why. Oop, 200 in Saratoga, 280 I mean. I was just there the other day. I went to Daiso, one of my favorite stores. And what did I get? I got some pouches. And what else did I get? I don't even remember. Not a whole lot. I mainly needed some cases. And so they have a lot of different sizes of like Tupperwares kind of that work really nicely as cases for different things. So I was looking for cases for the Wilton food coloring. So I found several nice ones at Daiso. And so I'm just removing some of the adhesive because that always seems to like to stay. But there is a beautiful card, and then I can just add a sentiment on there. Lovely, lovely. And I have 2 cards left. Is that okay? So on this card, I am going to stamp. Scary. But I decided to do the stamping because I was actually not having success in cutting out the stem properly. So I actually found it easier to cut and then stamp, which is not typically the way I do it. I did okay. It's kind of crooked, but it's good enough. So let's see if I can do it on these. That's okay. And then on this one, I'm still in the screen. Yay. I just find it a little bit harder. Ooh, that one's okay. It's okay. All right, and we do not have a garden green blends marker. So I'm just gonna color it with Granny Apple Green, or should I do the blender pen? Or should I just blend it? No, this is garden green. Or Granny Apple Green. No, this is garden green. Let's just blend it. And so I've stamped and colored this already. So I stamped the top in Pecan Pie and the bottom in Daffodil Delight. And if you want to color something quickly, just use the blending brushes. You can color super quickly and you don't have to be accurate at all. You can just get it right on there. It kind of helps if you kind of stamped a little bit crooked too, because then you can't tell, right? So it's good in many ways, many ways. I'm just putting like probably way too much color on there. Okay, so garden green. I wanted to do a different green because I did granny apple green with almost everything else because I love granny apple green. And I think it went well with everything else. And I'm still very much in summer mode here in the Bay Area of California. Thank you, Susie. And it is still beautiful weather here. So this is the In Color Designer Series paper stack again. And this time I'm adhering it to a piece of basic white. And I didn't stamp anything extra on it. I'm just letting it be plain. But I do have some cloud cover, a stitched circle, and I'm going to place that over there and then place this, offset this a little bit. So it's not gonna be like right on there. It's gonna be offset a bit to make it artistic-y, a little artistic. Okay, so it's kind of gonna go over here like this. And then it's easier, well, nope, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna put everything on dimensionals. So we'll do 2 regular, and we'll do some minis all the way down the stem. Why not? Okay. Hopefully that's enough. And then just so that the leaves are fully supported, we will add some to them as well. And then we will take off all the backing. So the mini dimensionals do fit on the back of this stem, so you can pop it up, which I think is more fun. And then we can add this over this way, up in here, like so. And then we can add on the leaves, and then I will also add on a sentiment later. This is just a nice little sunflower here, enjoying the sun. Okay, so there's another one. And then I thought Timid Tiger would look really cool with the Lost Lagoon again. So I kind of did it here, but I thought it would be fun to do on this as well. And so I wanted to color these, and then I'm gonna add the brown. And then I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the garden green. Maybe I'll do the garden green. And then I want to add some kind of other background. So this will be my work in progress for this week, but let's do some review here. So we played with the Coneflower Celebrations Bundle, and we added a little bit of mixed labels and textured notes, as well as the exposed brick and sunflower embossing folders. This one hopefully should be back in stock. Hopefully soon. I don't want to say because I don't exactly remember and I don't want to be wrong, but very soon. If you want to know when it'll be back in stock, let me know and I can let you know, or you can go to the website and there's a little place where you can put your email in and it says notify me when this product is available again. And it has been working because I got a notification today that the Gallery Blooms dies are back in stock. So it's been a really nice feature to have, and you can definitely use it to know when things are back in stock. So we created this inset card. We did these cards, just stamping and coloring different ways, coloring on the DSP. We created a little opening in the flower. I'm gonna put the leaves together. And we did, again, some stamping and coloring a little bit differently. Got to finish coloring that. Did some coloring on the embossing folder as well as sanding the two-tone cardstock. And then simply combining the coloring of the die cuts and coloring of the stamping. So I hope you have enjoyed seeing all these fun and beautiful cards. I have enjoyed making them. One of these cards is going to be raffled off next week as a prize. So make sure you comment and share this video to get into that raffle. Next week, I'm going to be doing a combination of two bundles. I'm going to be doing the Extraordinary Flora, and it has a die that cuts out all these little flowers that coordinate with this washi tape. So some really fun things. And I'm gonna coordinate it with a bundle called Label, oh dear, another bundle that has this really cool label in it with a lot of cool sentiments. So I thought these would go really nicely together. So I'm going to be doing a combination of those two bundles next week, which I think, no, this is the last week in July. So that will be the first first Tuesday in August. And then I will start playing with some of the fall. I'm not ready to play with fall and Halloween yet, but I will start playing with some of the fall and Halloween items so that you can start preparing for your Halloween and fall events as well. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I love seeing each and every one of you here. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate your support. And I hope you have a great rest of your evening and week. I'm off to visit with my parents this weekend, and I'll be back on Tuesday to show you how to combine these two fun bundles together. See you and have a great week. Bye. When is my next in-person workshop? Okay, I caught that question real quick. It is August 9th, which is a Saturday. We're doing stamping techniques. It is at my house. The information is on my website. We will be making, I usually make 3 or 4 cards, and you can register online and find out more information. We're going to be doing some embossing with the Kintsugi Inspiration Suite and some other fun techniques as well. So hope to meet you, Susie, and I will see everybody next Tuesday. Thanks. Bye.